Hello everybody, and for this video I'm going to be talking to you guys all about the PvE aspect of Destiny. If you don't know what PvE is because you're not an MMO player, it means player versus environment. I'm talking about the story, the missions, the quest, the world of Destiny in general. So a lot of you have been asking me, so what's so different about Destiny? After you see my PvP footage, you're like, what's so different? It's just a shooter, right? Well, this right here is what makes Destiny truly different from any other FPS that we have ever seen before. So if you have played other FPS games, which obviously most of you have, you'll be used to having a single player campaign that you can get through very quickly and then you move on to multiplayer. And you might have some co-op missions if you're lucky, but for the most part you just have a single player campaign, very quick to get through, and that is it. And that's where Destiny shines, and that's where Destiny is really different, because Destiny's PvE takes on more of an MMO form than a traditional campaign or a traditional shooter. It has a huge open world, or should I say open universe, that you can choose to explore on your own with the strangers that are sharing your world with you, or you can choose to team up with friends and explore together. So in the Destiny Alpha, you can experience very small samples of each of the different activities that you can do in the Destiny world. These include explore missions, where you just go out into the world and you can just explore it. And they'll have different quests scattered along the way. You can bring up your little ghost dude. It's called a ghost, I think. I'm pretty sure. You press the touchpad on the PS4 and it brings it up and it shows you all the different quests and where you can go to get them. So you can do the random quests. If you've played MMOs, it's stuff like killing pigs, killing rats, delivering pumpkins to villagers. It's those kind of quests. It's the little quests that you do when you're exploring the world for extra money, extra materials, extra experience. The next activity that you can do in the alpha is called strike missions, which put you up with other players to go and take on a big bad boss. And these dudes actually hurt. They actually do some damage. So if you're used to MMOs or anything of that nature, think of dungeons. That's what I would explain them as. They're kind of like Destiny's dungeons. You team up with people and you take on something, and that's kind of what a strike mission is. In my opinion, that's how I would describe it. I don't know if that's correct, but in my opinion, it's kind of like Destiny's version of a dungeon. And then of course you have the story mode, which is pretty self-explanatory. It takes you through the story of the world. That's the thing that you want to do if you want to find out all about what the actual Destiny world is all about. So I went through each of these activities both with a friend and on my own, and I found it enjoyable in both of these situations. Now naturally, PvE in these kind of games is going to be more fun when you're playing with your friends, because you're laughing and you're joking and someone dies to something ridiculous and you call them a noob. It's always going to be more fun playing with friends. But Destiny actually manages to make itself fun when playing on your own too, which is really rare. I find it very rare to have fun doing PvE anyway, just because of the kind of person that I am, but Destiny does actually manage to make it fun even when you're playing on your own. And I think that's largely to do with the fact that you're surrounded by other players doing the exact same thing as you. So even though you're playing on your own, you're running around and you see other people and they're obviously doing the same quests as you, which makes you feel like you're not really playing on your own, even though you are technically playing on your own. And this is especially true for the strike missions. In the alpha, there's a strike mission where you need 3 people. So I was playing by myself. I wanted to do the strike mission, so it teamed me up with 2 other people. And although you're not actually talking to the other people that you're playing with, you are playing with them. When they go down, you revive them. When you go down, they revive you. You got each other's backs. You're making sure that each of the people on your team are actually okay and we're going to succeed in this mission, which makes you feel like you aren't playing by yourself. You are actually cooperating with other people. Even though you aren't technically playing with them, you are playing with them towards a common goal. In terms of how difficult the PvE is that we've seen so far in the alpha, I wouldn't say that it's super difficult in the beginning stages, but obviously we're just seeing the very first part of the game. It's the very beginning. It's like levels 1 through 8, and most of the missions are like 1 through 6 or something like that. So it's the very beginning levels. You're not going to experience how tough the game can actually be when you're playing the very beginning of the game. But what I will say is if you aren't careful, you can get your ass kicked super easily. Even if you're a higher level than all of the mobs by quite a significant amount, you will die if you get reckless. You do have to actually be careful. You have to know how to use your cover. You can't just go Ramboing in there and expect to live. And this is especially true when the random world events pop up. If you're familiar with MMOs, you will know what a world event is. But if you're not familiar with MMOs, what a world event is basically a random thing that happens. So a random super mob will spawn, like a super big boss mob will spawn. And it will inform everyone in the current area as you, the same area, that this world event is happening. So you can choose to participate in taking down this huge mob. And this thing takes a while. It's not easy to kill it. The thing that we experienced in the alpha takes a long time to kill, and it can kill you instantly. Like, it will blow you up if you are not careful. So in terms of difficulty, I will say that the difficulty is perfect. I think it's perfect. You can do very well, and it can be easy if you're careful, but if you're not careful, you will die. So you have to actually use your brain when playing the PvE in Destiny. Now, one thing that I do want to note and point out specifically and applaud Bungie on is how they have made playing with friends feel. I've played a lot of MMOs in my time, and the ones that have come out recently don't, in my opinion, do a very good job of making you feel like you're actually playing with your friend. You will team up with your friend, be on the same team, you can see them on your map, but you're doing different things, and it always feels difficult to actually be doing the same missions and same quests as your friend. But in Destiny, they do such a great job at making you feel like you are experiencing everything together. Bungie has managed to create what feels like a true co-op experience. Even if your friend has done the missions or quests before you, you can still experience it all together, which is awesome. And a lot of games have missed out on that. It's what Elder Scrolls Online really didn't make me feel like I was doing. I was running around with my friend and I'm like, okay, so we're together, but we're not doing the same thing. Whereas in Destiny, we can go and do everything together. It feels like we're experiencing the world together. And that's really, really important in a game like this. It's very important. The social aspect of an MMO, which I know Destiny probably doesn't think of itself as an MMO, but it's the best way that I can explain it. But the social aspect of an MMO is incredibly important. When you team up with your friends, you want to feel like you're experiencing the story together, that you're finding out all this information about the world that you're sharing together. And Bungie does an amazing, amazing job at that. It's what I noticed straight away. It's the first thing that I noticed. I was like, we're actually playing together, huh? We're doing the same quests and the same missions, even though you've probably done it before. We're doing the same things, and that's really good. So I applaud Bungie heavily on being able to create a true co-op experience. So I can see that Destiny is going to basically become my entire world very, very, very easily, and I will spend entirely too much time playing, and people will be like, how the hell do you have so much money? And I'll be like, dude, don't judge me, because what they've done is they've mixed my two favorite games together, my two favorite genres. I can go and compete against other players in an FPS format and be competitive and have that experience, which I love, of course, and then I can go into a vast open world and search for rare loot, all in one game and all on the same character. Like, that is awesome. It actually reminds me a lot of Guild Wars, which I know people probably won't see this comparison and be like, you're being ridiculous. But in Guild Wars, the max level is 20, which is the same as Destiny. You can actually get there very quickly. It's not going to take a huge amount of time to get to max level. And you can go into PvP, you can be competitive, you can have an awesome time and go up against other people, and it's very, 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 very good, which I will get to in another video. It's very good. And then you can also be like, you know what? I want to go explore a little bit and go and look for new items, rare items, craft items. You can craft. So yeah, Destiny's gonna be a huge time sink for me because it has everything that I want in a game. It's just all there in one game. It's really good. I'm extremely impressed with just the alpha. So I know there's gonna be a ridiculous amount of content in the final game. So I'm gonna disappear for like 2 weeks when it comes out. So be prepared for that. Also, did I mention how beautiful Destiny is? Everything about it is just beautiful. I find myself just walking around when I'm exploring or doing quests or whatever, and I'm like, oh, this looks so good. The way that they do dark areas, the way that they do light areas, the way that they did the tower, which is the main little city part where you buy stuff and all that stuff. Everything is beautiful. When you find yourself randomly stopping and staring at the scenery and looking around you, you know that the scenery is beautiful. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to stay tuned for more Destiny videos. I'm gonna have my opinion on the PvP in terms of balance, how it feels, how it plays, the maps, etc. later tonight. So stay tuned for that, and I will speak to you beautiful people later. Bye.